Hey guys, Ozzy my Pokemon here, and today I have another UU Wi-Fi battle today against someone I met on the Pokemon Showdown, the Wi-Fi battles chat. So if you guys want to find some battles, I guess there is a pretty good place to find some battles. So we had a pretty good battle. It was pretty close in the end, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get right into it. So looking at his team, the first thing I noticed is that I don't really have a lot of switch-ins to Crawdaunt, and that was really the only massive threat on his team that could sweep me 6-0 if it had the chance. So I really had to be careful with that. But everything else I really had to check too, so it was all good. But I had to be really careful with Crawdaunt. Anyway, so he leads with his Ambipom, and I'm scared of the knockoff, so I'm going to switch. But he actually switches as well into his Araquanid, and this is actually pretty good for me because I went into my Aggron, and Aggron is carrying Stone Edge. So this is actually a Rock Polish Aggron, but I changed it now, I believe, to a Curse Aggron because it's just way better. But still, it does a lot of damage. Aggron, even when you don't have HP investment, is so bulky and he does so much damage. I mean, just look at that. So he lives on a little bit of health. He goes for the Liquidation. It's going to do about half my health. A bit over, so it pretty much means I could live another one if I wanted to. So here, I believe I went for the Iron Head because it hits more of his Pokemon for more damage. So I go for that. It does barely anything to Gliscor, but it does a decent chunk, I guess. But Toxic Heal is just going to heal it all away, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So I switch out. I go into my Mantine because I can live anything. If he has Earthquake, well then I'm completely immune to it. So. But he actually goes for the Substitute here, and that's pretty scary because I would have to send in one of my more offensive Pokemon to deal with it if my Mantine dies. But luckily, my Mantine is carrying Scald, so I initially switched it in here because I thought he was going to Stealth Rock, and I could use Defog to get rid of that. But here, he's going to go for the Toxic, and it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't play that much. It's not that important throughout this match, my Mantine being poisoned, but it's still pretty annoying because it means I can't have my Mantine in for a long amount of time, which is definitely annoying for your defensive Pokemon to be toxic. But I go for the Scald, I break his Substitute with a crit, don't think it mattered at all. Gliscor doesn't have the best special defense, and I don't think it would have lived it. But anyway, I switch out here because I think he's not going to set up another Substitute. I just think that's really unlikely, but he goes for another Protect. And I get a free switch into my Gliscor. Now, this Gliscor set is Earthquake, Facade, Stealth Rock, and Roost, I believe so. There's no Swords Dance, but it does do a lot of damage to Pokemon that are not expecting to have to take a hit. But I go for the Stealth Rock here because why not? There's really no reason for me not to go for Stealth Rock here. He reveals that his Gliscor has nothing to touch me with, which is also pretty good. And I just go for the Facade, outspeed his Araquanid, and take him out. So yeah, Facade with Gliscor, Toxicor does indeed get the boost, so it is a very powerful attack for Gliscor to have. Anyway, I switch out now and go to my Mantine. This is the Crawdaunt. It is a very big problem. It goes for the knockoff, and just looking at this damage, I can see that is definitely Choice Banded, so I can bring in whatever I want to Revenge Kill here. That is pretty much, that's the only good thing that's come out of this situation. So I am going to send out my Latias now, and I can't set up, I have to go straight for the Energy Ball. I cannot risk it, otherwise I'll get my team swept by a Crawdaunt, but Crawdaunt's special defense is pretty much 0, so he just drops, and he's going to send out his Ambipom now, and I don't want to get hit by a knockoff, because I'm really scared of knockoff, because it's probably going to do a lot of damage to me, so I'm going to go into Gliscor. I've already got my Toxic Heal, so I'm not really worried, but he's going to go for the Fake Out, so he's not going to go straight for the knockoff, so I'm starting to think he doesn't have knockoff here, which, I mean, I probably recommend that you should run knockoff on your Ambipom. Knockoff is a very powerful move, but instead he has Beat Up, which I guess it does more damage, but at the end of the day, getting rid of your opponent's item is just, it's such a big advantage. So his attacks are doing nothing. He goes for the Tail Slap. It misses, not a big deal. Probably wouldn't have done much anyway. At most, maybe 25-30%. So, yeah, really not a big deal. I take him out with the Earthquake here. I went for Earthquake just in case he went into Marowak trying to block the Facade. But, yeah, now he's going to send out his Haxorus, and I was really scared of this Haxorus. It's going to do a lot of damage to me. And I don't have any switch-ins now since my Mantine is dead, and that is max HP, max defense. Even though Gliscor is very defensive as well, Haxorus just has such high attack, and after a Dragon Dance, he's doing so much damage. And here, I am so lucky he didn't have the Dragonium Z. Dragonium Z would have done so much damage. It wouldn't have killed me, but it would have done, I think it was 80% when I did the calcs, and that was just minimum damage. So anyway, he's going to go for the Corkscrew Crash, which I guess is pretty good if you go against Fairy types. I think this is Iron Head, but it might be Iron Tail. I'm pretty sure it's Iron Head though, but he might not get Iron Head. Most people run Poison Jab on their Haxoruses, so yeah. He's going to go for the Outrage now, locking himself into it just to take out my Gliscor. Crit probably didn't matter there. Really not a big deal for me because I can just send in my Muck and Revenge Kill him with the Shadow Sneak. I've been seeing recently people are not using Shadow Sneak as often and opting for the Fire Punch. I really think that Shadow Sneak's better because you can, in situations like that, like he's just going to take out that threat there. Otherwise, probably would have swept my whole team. But anyway, I am fast in this Marowak because Marowak is really slow. And I go for the knockoff, and it takes him out in one hit. That is the power of Alola Muck. Honestly, Alola Muck is so fun to use. Pursuit Trapping is really fun to do, and it really catches some people off guard, especially when you're playing at lower ranks. And a Latias will come in, and it's just so good. But anyway, I go for the knockoff here, just getting some damage. I know that Latias can take him out. It's his last Pokemon. Latias can just go for literally any attack and it'll probably die because Gliscor has really bad special defense. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Sneak here just to do some damage, and he's going to take me out with the Earthquake. So he's looking pretty healthy, around 75% after Toxic Heal, maybe even 80. But really it doesn't matter because he can't touch my Latias except for Toxic Stalling it, and yeah, there's nothing he can do. Latias will take it out, 2-hit KO very easily. And even if he wants to go for the Protect here, I can go for the Grassium Z, even though it does absolutely nothing. You guys get to see this. This Grassium Z does so little. I was so surprised. I was like hoping it at least do like 30-40% of his health, but this did nothing. It was, I think he ended up getting all his health back after Toxic Heal. But you'll see. Look at that. What is that? Like, how? I don't understand how that did so little. 175 base power attack. Quarter of that. I mean, yeah, it's not adding up. Anyway, so I go for the Psychic here. You see how much damage that does. He's going to go for the Toxic, but then again, there's nothing he can do. There's literally nothing he can do. He can't spam Protect forever. I mean, he could try. I don't think it'll work out though. He's going to go for the Protect here, and I go for the Calm Mind for no reason. That it doesn't affect anything at all. I can use any attack to take him out next turn. So yeah, this set of Latias has been really fun. It's really good catching Azumarill off guard. That's what this set is good for. Gigavolt Havoc might be a little bit better for catching out Azumarill, but that means you can't attack Gliscors with it. But I'm going to finish him off with the Dragon Pulse here, and that is going to be GG. I just want to thank my opponent because I was searching for a whole day, and this was the first person I found. So it's so hard to find battles, guys. So if you guys want to battle me, make sure to hit me up on Twitter or even in the comments, and we'll go from there, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.